whatever. I'm all tongue-tied. And before I introduce our guest, hey, Nick, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right, let's welcome the one, the only, Skye Stevens to Totally Driven Radio. Skye, how you doing?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Dude, no Skype. Please, no Skype. I freaking
No,
hate Skype.
I'm on a cell phone. Don't worry. I don't
Thank
I hate Skype.
Oh, I don't know how they can charge people for that. That's a friggin' shame. That's a crime. Like, they're stealing
That's just
money.
the worst, for sure.
It really is. Like, I don't understand why people use or pay for that. It's brutal. So how you doing, Skye?
In other news.
In other news.
Things are good. I'm actually in Las Vegas right now, so I'm like in my hotel room looking down at the strip and the sun's going down, so it's pretty dope, I have to tell you.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you, I saw the picture you Instagrammed out earlier, and I was like, that's just a beautiful, like, scene to look at out your window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a Google image, but it's not. It's actually from my room.
So, all right, so Skye Stevens. So I was reading through your bio, and the first thing that really, like, stuck out to me, like, it said, since you were young, you're always going to New York or Boston for film auditions. So music wasn't even your first, voyage into the world of entertainment, it sounds like then.
No, it was. It was more just like when you're really young, it's movies and television and modeling is really accessible when you're 5 or 6 and you're like a kid kind of thing. But my first ever sort of performance thing was this like small singing dance class that I just kind of really fell in love with. Because I tried other stuff, like I did like t-ball and like little kid soccer and swimming and like, sort of everything. But once I started like singing and dancing, I don't know, it was like a very natural sort of thing, and it just kind of became a part of my DNA, and I haven't really stopped doing it since.
Wow. So you were saying like 5 years old. How did you end up getting started in all this?
I don't know. My mom sort of just threw me in a class just during the summertime to see if I, it was just kind of like an activity kind of thing. And I was obsessed with it, and I just wanted to go back and do another class. And then those classes, years later turned on to me doing shows, and those shows turned into like me wanting to go into a recording studio. And then, fast forward 15 years, and then I'm moving to Los Angeles, like pursuing a music career. So it's always just kind of been this dream, and now it's sort of becoming more of a reality.
Now, is the music, I guess the music is just going to be your main focus now then, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So who were some of your influences that really got you wanting to do what you do?
Well, they've definitely changed over time, and sort of evolved as I've changed as well, but for the most part, the first sort of CDs that I listened to were like a Michael Jackson Greatest Hits CD and a Janet Jackson CD that were sort of in my parents', CD collection that I found, and I wanted to see what, Michael Jackson looked like and what, Janet Jackson looked like and what their videos were. And I remember watching their videos on VHS. He actually had this like VHS Greatest Hits thing. I don't know if you remember it, but we had it in our house. and and I just like fell in love with it. I was like, man, I really want to dance more. And as I sort of got older, my inspirations now are definitely them, but I really love like Chris Brown too. I think he's an amazing overall artist, from music to video to live performance. Sierra, she really inspires me a lot. I think she can hold a stage like sort of like Janet did, but in a very different way, but still really captivating. Neo, I love Neo. And then for, I guess, like singer-songwriter music, I also love artists like Rufus Wainwright, Damian Rice, James Blake, and then newly I kind of became obsessed with this girl. Her name's Nina Nesbitt. She's from the UK, and she's just really, really dope. And then for like hip hop artists, I love Wiz Khalifa. And then for EDM, like dance music, which is my other real big passion. Zedd, David Guetta, Afrojack, Calvin Harris, and then like girl dance artists like Alexandra Dan and Eva Simmons. So I mean, I'm really inspired by a variety of different people because I don't know, I have many different things that I want to do and feel passionate about. So I think it's always good to tap into like all the different sort of branches of music and see what everyone's doing.
Now, you were saying about the dancing too, how like Michael and Janet really inspired you. Now, did you like take like dancing lessons, or are you self-taught, or?
Yeah, I started out taking tons of dance classes for my whole life, pretty much. I like lived in a dance studio 5-6 days a week and competed and like traveled sort of through New England doing dance competitions when I was really, really young. So it's always sort of been like a second nature to me. And then when I moved out to LA a few years ago, I really started to hone my craft and sort of, I don't know, turn steps into more like body language and make it more of like, how do I dance as opposed to here are the steps, do them. And I sort of started to develop how I move, and I think that's what, a lot of artists wind up doing. Like when you look at Chris Brown, no one really dances like Chris Brown because he developed himself, you know what I mean? Or Sierra, she developed like how she moves, or Neo. Everyone sort of moves their own way, and I think I'm sort of finding how I do that, which is hard, it's like hard to sort of develop your own way of moving, but that's something I do, I guess. And in terms of inspiration, again, sorry, just going back to this, in my new video, Pass the Keys, there's one part of the video where I do this sort of synchronized dance moment with this girl, and that was sort of inspired by Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson's Scream when they're in the white studio and they have that quick breakdown together and they do like the same choreography. That's sort of my sort of spin on it in this video. There's this like one part where we slide down to our knees really quick, and they do that in the Michael Jackson Scream video. So I kind of just did that as a little homage to him, I guess.
That's something too. Like I don't think people really realize is, people will naturally talk about like music or singing and how they have their own style, and people don't realize it's the same with dance as well. Like people have a style of dance, and like you say, you're trying to make your own style and make that style stand out as well.
Yeah, and the style of dance also sort of coincides with the music. So it's sort of this street funk, Euro, hip hop fusion, which I try to do with my music. So when you like listen to the music and you see the visual, it all sort of connects, and it's like its own lane and its own entity, and it's not like anything else that's sort of out there, which is hard to do and takes time to develop and figure out. But it's worth it in the end. If it like comes out right and it looks good, it's worth it. But there's definitely some days where I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest idea ever, and I'll like send my manager a video clip, and I'll be like, look at how revolutionary this is, and she's like, no, this is awful. Go try again, and then I do, and then it turns out great. But it's that I think that's what's so important as an artist, is to try things over and over and over, in your workspace before you put out something. Because if you don't try anything and fall down many times, you're never going to really create something that's great, You have to sort of fail in your own, like, studio workspace.
Sure.
So
now
yeah.
you're saying you got to keep trying and trying. Like, how many? I mean, is this a 7-day a week? Like, you know, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, are you constantly doing this?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, just let me see. Yesterday I shot a cover video to Becky G's Shower, and the day before that we recorded it. And while I was recording that and shooting it, I was already sort of working on the next project during the day prior. So there's always like a lot of stuff going on. I'm in Vegas right now just to see a concert, but
okay.
There's actually like some other meetings that could be happening. So yeah, pretty much like all day, every day, constantly creative and working on sort of the next project and the next project. And if you don't sort of have that attitude and determination, it's kind of hard, you know, for
Sure.
other people to want to get on board with what you're doing, you know.
Now, something else too I was reading about you was when you were really starting to perform with music and all in high school, it said like you would go to clubs in Boston where you're from and perform, and even if you weren't old enough, you would have like your older brother or your mom would take you to these clubs to go perform. So
yeah,
that tells me instantly like your family's very, very behind this and very supportive of you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've always sort of seen like what I've been doing since I was young. So I would like put on shows and stuff in my house that they thought, well, they loved it, and you know, I thought it was like these VMA, you know, MTV live performances that were just amazing, and you know, they were probably awful. Who knows? But they love like sort of my spirit, you know what I mean, and my genuine like love for the art of it, I guess. And when I told them like, you know, I wanted to move to LA and I was only like 17, just sort of 18, you know, they didn't even really hesitate because they knew that if I were to move out there, they knew I would sort of make it happen.
Right.
So you know, it kind of took a lifetime to earn their respect in that sense, but they really, yeah, they do support me greatly and believe in what I do. So it's definitely nice to have.
And when you were saying when you made that choice to move to LA, I mean, from what I was reading, like you were like toying with the idea of, do I go to New York, do I go to LA, or do I just go to college?
Yeah, well, college. It's not that I didn't. It's not that I don't think college is important. I think like education is extremely important, and the sort of circumstance I was walking into in Los Angeles was sort of like not a college, but I was very fortunate to be able to walk into a small team of people that could really educate me about the music industry and about developing my voice and my music and my dance, and not a lot of people have that opportunity. So it kind of was like an educational career experience all wrapped in one. I was like very fortunate in that sense. So it's not that I don't think people should go to college or anything like that. I think it really depends on the circumstance, you know.
Sure. Did your parents completely support you in that final decision to go to LA instead of college?
They did, just because they knew, even like when we were visiting colleges and stuff, and I got into some like pretty nice schools too, but they, even when I was, you know, auditioning and going on interviews, they even when we were visiting, they were just like, we don't see you here, like you're either going to be in Los Angeles or New York. And it was just kind of this thing, because you can't really, there's no sort of class in a university that can teach you what you learn, or at least what I've learned, you know, touring for the last few years, you know, going into clubs. And, you know, I was performing in clubs before I was doing like a lot of teen festivals and stuff. And, you know, I was like going to these clubs and with, you know, 500-600 people and having to win them over with, just a few songs they've never even really heard. And it kind of definitely built a really strong backbone, for me. And yeah, I definitely learned a lot doing that. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Now, I also read that you went to Atlanta to really try to find your sound.
Yeah, that was a part of sort of the creative process when I was first moving out there. My first choreographer, Jamaica Crafts, she does a lot of stuff for like Usher and Neo and Sierra, like a lot of the people I'm actually influenced by. She's doing like Usher's album tour right now, so she's just like amazing. But for about 6 months I worked with her, and she's based in Atlanta. So, at one sort of week she was like, you should fly to Atlanta and check out, just some dancers that are down there, and just see how people move down there and stuff like that. And then my old manager at the time introduced me to some producers and just kind of was learning sort of the basics of how a song was made and things like that. Now,
doing something like that, like now, I mean, and you get around, like you be in New York 1 minute, Atlanta, LA. Like, is there really that much of a difference in musical styles in each area?
Kind of, actually. Between like music and dance, yeah, definitely. I mean, the way about each one separately, I guess. Musically, I think it just depends on the producer and like who, because one producer could be from Switzerland but living in New York, so no. Musically, not really. I mean, I guess Atlanta is a little bit more hip-hop based. LA, New York, there's more access maybe to EDM and top 40. I mean, I don't know. Musically, I wouldn't really know how to explain that. But dance-wise, there's definitely a major, major difference. Like the way LA dancers dance are completely different than Atlanta dancers and New York dancers. That is very different. And I think when I was in Atlanta, she was just sort of introducing me to more like urban hip-hop styles of dancing and stuff like that.
Gotcha. I never would have known that. I never would have even like thought like, yeah,
Yeah, well, New York dancers, like they're a lot more Broadway and contemporary sort of dancing, and then their hip hop is a lot more like street jazz, like jazz funk, street jazz, and then LA is a lot more sort of hip hop, commercial, and then Atlanta is just like really, really hip hop. So yeah, dance is definitely different.
Wow. So, all right, so you had one song hit the top 20 on Billboard. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, my first two singles, "Takes All Night" and "Rewind," were on the Billboard dance charts, and we were really fortunate to have them chart, especially as debut sort of singles. So we had some really, really great producers remix it. There's a producer named Paper Chaser, and they've done some like pretty big remixes for like Rihanna and a bunch of really big artists. So I was really excited when they took on both of the songs, and they made some like pretty amazing remixes. So it was really cool, I think, to see the songs chart in the club chart, especially because like the music I really love to make is club music. So when I saw that sort of happen, it was kind of like, whoa, this is like really happening,
I mean, that's got to be pretty like, on one hand, you probably got to say to yourself, like, as you're having two songs get into the dance charts on Billboard, like, hey, this isn't that hard. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, you got to be like, wow, like, this is really impressive. Like, I got to be proud of myself.
I don't know if I would say it's not that hard. It was pretty difficult to kind of get it to come to life and happen. for sure. It's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. But when it did happen, yeah, it was very inspiring for sure. And then, but it was also sort of like I don't know if wake up call is the right word, but just sort of like it made you realize like what else you sort of had to do. You know, it was a great accomplishment, but at the same time it was like, well, where can we take this further? You know, because one or two singles are great, but you know, it's like you want to be able to push yourself to, you know, go even further with it.
So now you have the new single, Pass the Keys.
Yeah, it's a fun track.
Now, what's this about?
This is more of just a really fun dance record as opposed to the single I just came off of, Rewind, which is more of a story sort of song, where this record just has a really, really, really great track. The guy who produced it, Alex Greggs, he makes like some really, really incredible dance tracks. So if you listen to the track of it, there's just all this really great instrumentation that's going on that just kind of blows my mind. And the song is just sort of about going out, letting loose with your friends, and just sort of having fun. It's just kind of a throw your hands up in the air track, you know.
Cool. All right. Well, how about this?
Literally.
Let's throw our hands up in the air. Let's play this track for everybody, and let's show the world Pass the Keys. Let's let them hear that. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Here he is, Skye Stevens, Pass the Keys. Throw them hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care, right? Come on. And there it is, Pass the Keys, from our new friend, Mr. Skye Stevens.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's a cool song, right?
Hey, you know, somebody just, this is the lovely world of the internet, as we're doing the interview and we're jamming out to Pass the Keys, I get sent a picture. Now, I don't know if it was you or not, but I'm going to ask. You and Ariana Grande?
Oh, who sent you that?
Was that a picture? It looked like it was on like a red carpet event or something.
Yeah, that was at the Billboard Awards last year. I kind of ran into her, and we took a photo.
My co-host Nick, who's being very quiet, he absolutely adores Ariana Grande.
Oh, really?
Oh,
there you go, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm refraining from asking you just how gorgeous she was.
She was actually like really beautiful in person, like more beautiful in person than on video.
You hear that banging? That's Nick banging his head against the wall now. oh, that's too funny. All right, so Pass the Keys. Where can everybody get the single?
Pass the Keys, man. Everyone should check out it on iTunes, on Amazon. It's there. It's up there, so you can download it. If you go to my Twitter and my Facebook and my YouTube, all the links are there, so it's easy access to get.
Absolutely. Everything in these days and time is easy access. It's there. Go get it. iTunes, Amazon, get it. Check it out.
And check out the video too. It's pretty crazy. It's a trippy video for sure. It's pretty fun.
And actually, everybody can go to the website, skystevens.com, where you have all your links for social media. You got your videos, your bio, pictures, videos. Everything is up there. Check it out and become a fan of the one and only Skye Stevens. So what else you got going on for the rest of 2014? Any other big plans you can expose to us?
Yeah, well, basically from now to the rest of the summer, I'm building like a lot of online content and shooting a lot of cover videos, all of which are like way different interpretations of the actual songs. So
cool.
The videos are really creative and cool, and the music is sort of spun in a really different way. Like if it's a club track, I kind of made it more, piano ballad and vice versa. So just lots more videos like that. And then in the fall, there's like some other sort of bigger stuff cooking up, but I can't really talk about it yet. But it's cool. It's definitely I think another new song. I can say that. I think.
Nice.
So,
well, it sounds like you'll be coming back on in the fall then.
Yeah, for sure. If you'll have me, I hope so. You guys are so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Come back, hang out, drop a new song with us, and give us some more Ariana Grande stories.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll try to bring Ariana Grande next time. I'll try to just get her on the phone.
It's too funny. Cool. All right, Skye, I want to thank you so much. Remember, everybody, go to iTunes or Amazon, Skye Stevens, Pass the Keys. I'm sure you can get your other singles there as well. And go to SkyeStevens.com, or you can go on Twitter at @TheSkyeStevens. He's also on Instagram at @TheSkyeStevens. Look for him on Facebook, his official Facebook page. He's all over the world of social media, SkyeStevens.com. Skye, thank you. Enjoy Vegas. And remember, what happens in Vegas does stay in Vegas.
Okay. All right.
Thank you
so much, guys. Yes, unless it's on Twitter for sure. All right. Well, have an awesome weekend. I'll see you later, guys.
You too, man. Take care.
Bye.
All right, everybody. There he goes, Skye Stevens. All right.
Hey, this dude was just like, he was like, yeah, I just ran into her on the red carpet. It was no big deal. Like,
I think if you ran into Ariana Grande on the red carpet, like she'd be in your closet or something.
Yeah, well, I would definitely be in another country within the hour.
Oh, too funny. All right, yeah.